Imagine a world where the most dangerous ideas weren't new theories, but, well, 1,500-year-old texts from an ancient Greek.
We are talking about Aristotle. His philosophy once sparked heresy trials, literal street riots.
And yet, it's the very same philosophy that laid the groundwork for what we now think of as modern science, even constitutional government.
It's an incredible story. We're going to get into the core insights from the book, Aristotle's Children. Our mission is to see how Christians, Muslims, and Jews wrestled with this, and we'll focus on some key ideas that really redefined faith, reason, and democracy for you.
That's a huge claim, because the story we usually hear is about the Dark Ages. Religious dogma just crushing reason.
Right, but the book argues the complete opposite. When Aristotle returns to Europe in the 12th century, largely through Islamic Spain and Jewish scholars, it triggers this massive intellectual renaissance.
And it's happening inside the centers of Christian power.
Exactly. This wasn't some simple outside versus inside conflict. The real fight was internal. You had bishops, monks, university masters all arguing fiercely over how to integrate Aristotle's logic, his empiricism, into Christian theology.
So these traditional institutions became engines for change.
They had no choice. They had to take these complex new arguments seriously.
And what's fascinating is where this all happened. Places like Toledo became these, laboratories of pluralism.
That's the perfect way to put it. Aristotle's texts didn't arrive alone. They came bundled with centuries of brilliant commentary from Islamic thinkers like Averroes and Jewish philosophers like Maimonides.
So from day one, scholars in the West were forced to see Aristotle through these other cultural lenses.
Yes. And it created a kind of pluralism built not on relativism, not on anything goes, but on shared rational standards. It was a true marketplace of ideas sharpened by disagreement.
Which brings us to a huge philosophical battleground, the fight against double truth.
This was a critical moment.
For anyone unfamiliar, can you break that down?
The double truth theory basically said something could be true in philosophy or science, while its exact opposite was true in theology. So you could live with a contradiction.
Two separate realities, walled off from each other.
And thinkers like Thomas Aquinas just completely rejected that. He insisted there is one truth, period. If God created reality, then an honest look at nature can't fundamentally contradict an honest theology.
Even if it creates a lot of intellectual tension.
Especially then. Resisting that intellectual double bookkeeping was essential.
So what's the takeaway for us? This was centuries ago.
It's a model for what we could call rationally influenced faith and ethically interested reason. We see this tension today in debates over AI ethics, for example, where the data and our moral commitments have to inform each other. They can't exist in separate silos.
Beyond the institutions, though, the book makes a really striking psychological point. It says Aristotle's method actually created a new kind of person.
It really did. His core teaching was that the world our senses show us is real, and that we can discover truths about it by tracking causes.
So it's not just about an abstract, otherworldly focus anymore.
Not at all. It reshaped medieval students. They became more focused on this world, more confident in their own reason, and frankly, more argumentative.
Yeah.
This personality is the direct precursor to our modern scientific culture.
And that new personality flows right into politics.
Directly. The book draws a straight line from that medieval argument culture, the habit of formal debate, of giving reasons, to our modern ideas of constitutionalism.
Aristotle saw the state as a partnership for living well.
Right. And by training generations of students in the art of disputatio, where you have to argue both sides of a question, the scholastics built a powerful habit.
The habit of expecting authority to justify itself.
To give reasons for its actions. That expectation, that demand for the consent of the governed, is right at the heart of our democratic ideals.
So we've seen how this flood of ancient ideas forced a kind of creative conflict.
And out of that conflict came a more rational faith, and the birth of the empirical, deliberative citizen.
We started by looking at how these habits of rational debate became the foundation for citizenship. So here's a final thought for you to carry away. If democratic citizenship really does grow out of the routine practice of rational, two-sided debate, how should our schools, our churches, and our civic groups change the way they make decisions to better train us all for that essential role?